Their team total is 19.5 wins. I told you to go under, and it's by far the best bet I have recommended on this network in 4 years. They can't get out of their own way. And now Sloot is out for the year. Let's hope Sloot gets back, because I respect the hell out of Sloot, and I want her to go out on her own terms. Hopefully we'll have her back for the 26th season.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
I got a feeling Pittsburgh's going to the Super Bowl. I got a feeling there is no chance they're going to the Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers. I'm just kidding.
They're still not expected to have over 8.5 wins. They're still not expected to have a winning record. Now, I know things can change for the next 24 hours. I get that. But everyone expected Aaron Rodgers to sign with him. He's going to sign with him.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What?
How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that rim. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of
15.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
And welcome in. It's in-game live game day on this terrific Tuesday. Scott Wetzel, Day Sharapan for the next 2 glorious hours. We're going to fly by with NHL hockey. Look at that, the old Milwaukee Brewers logo rocking the outfit there for Mr. Sharapan tonight. We do have baseball. We got the Rafi Devers debut out in San Francisco. Who knows, maybe even at first base, believe it or not. We got Game 6 Stanley Cup Finals. Will it be the final game? We got a little NBA preview after last night's Game 5 of the NBA Finals. We got a little Caitlin Clark playing tonight, if anyone cares. Really, the WNBA kind of picks up a little bit, I think, once the NBA and NHL are done. Then we'll get into that a little bit more. So, but a lot on our plate, certainly. We got the SGPs. We got Black Clouds 5 on the line. We'll get to it all over the next 2 hours. Joining me, my partner in crime, Mr. Sharapan. What's going on, Dave? How are you tonight, bud?
Good to see you, Scott. I'm good. We've got a full card of baseball. There's some great things happening, good matchups all over. Yes, obviously, you know, we'll touch on the basketball from last night, but that'll be fast because Game 6 is not till Sunday. Game 6 of the NHL is tonight. And, you know, this is a loaded first segment. You know, we have a stacked deck of guests. This will be a lot of fun. But right at the beginning, we got to give them this, right? You got to give them your SGP, and then we're going to hit them with a 5 on the line. Is that what we're lined up with right now?
Not really. I'm not sure where they came up with this one. So I am actually I am. Every once in a while they come up with things they don't tell us. So I'm not sure where they came up with this SGP. But no, I do have some hockey plays though. All right, so we're going to put the Black Cloud, the unofficial Black Cloud. The official Black Cloud play is later on this hour, but the unofficial Black Cloud, I'm going to put it on Connor McDavid tonight, Dave. We're going to have him score 2 goals. I'm even going to personally put a couple shekels on him to get the hat trick at 65-1. But we'll go Connor McDavid 2 goals because we all know he's the greatest thing since sliced bread and you know, facing elimination. Wow. And we all know how great he played last year in Game 6 and 7. Oh, well, that's right. He didn't score at all in Game 6 or 7. All right, scratch that. But we all know how great he is, so he's going to get not 1 but 2 goals tonight. Love the Bobrovsky over 27.5 saves. Now, it didn't hit last game, But I have a hard time believing, as much as I like to make fun of Edmonton, that they're not going to come out flying tonight facing elimination. So as long as the Bob doesn't let in 5,000 goals, I think he gets 28 saves. And then we have our, two shot-on-goal parlays that we've had a lot of success with. Man, I love these things. I wish they would have offered these earlier in the regular season. But we're going to go with Connor McDavid, of course, Draisaitl, and Sam Bennett. That's minus 135. And then another one, McDavid, Sam Reinhart, Carter Verhaeghe, and that's basically pick a minus 103 depending on where you do your shopping. So you put them in a parlay, 2 shots on goal. Yep.
Yeah, you're loaded up there. Those shots on goal props are good. They were good last time we were together and you did them, so that's good. So see, they were there. The guys had it right. They had the same game parlays loaded up right there. So that's all good. Now, will there be OT? Do you think there'll be OT tonight? I don't think there's a chance in hell there's OT tonight.
Ooh, I wouldn't go that far. I don't think it'll be OT, but listen, we've had 3, so it's not the craziest bet in the world. Why don't you think there's any chance for it?
Well, I like Florida decider, so I think Florida has at least a 1-goal lead, maybe 2, gets an empty netter, wins this thing. The celebration will start early, but we got to get to this 5 on the line. It's time.
Right.
Give it to people what they need right now. Quick, let's go.
All right, little recap from last night. Went 3-2. Not too bad, and the 2 losses were basically pick-em type losses. Over on the Red Sox-Seattle game was a loser, and then what was the other one that we lost on? One more. We won on the other 3.
Boston,
won on OKC.
Seattle.
Oh, yeah, Houston. Yeah, Houston and the A's were losers there.
Yeah.
So, and into the over Boston, Seattle, right. But we won on the Dodgers, we won on the over Dodgers, and we won on over 117.5, which we got lucky, 33 points in the 4th quarter. But you know what? I'd rather be lucky and win than unlucky and lose, as the saying goes. So, with that said, we are now a whopping 179 and 120, 59 games over 500. Believe it or not, on the season so far. So with that said, let us go to our 5 on the line. All right, trend number 1. My computer just flipped out. There we go. Matchup, Red Sox and Seattle Mariners. Right back to the well. It was a loser last night, but still, as you see, they're 29-9 over their last 38 meetings. So we'll go to the well one more time on this, despite losing last night. Where are we going to go? Over 7, Boston and Seattle, Dave.
The only thing that concerns me is how good the Boston rotation has been. They are 5-0 with a .89 ERA over the last 6 contests. All Boston Red Sox wins. So we're going to need some runs from both teams tonight. I'm a little worried about that one. What's next?
Yep. All right. Next up, 4 as we go from 5 down to 1, the best ones being last. Under. Cubbies, 10-1 under their last 11 games, and they're taking on Milwaukee, which happens to be 10-4 under their last 14 games. So, add up those 2 under trends. Where we're going to go? Under 9, Milwaukee versus Chicago.
I like this one. Burns hasn't been great, or Brown, for the Cubs. Patrick's been okay. I like the Brewers in the game. Let's get this one 4-3 or 6-3, something like that. We'll stay right there. All right, go. What's number 3?
All right, number 3, back to the well with the Dodgers, right? Don't fix what's not broke, as the saying goes. Dodgers now 19-6 over their last 25 home games. Snuck the over last night, getting 9 runs with the over 8.5. So 19-6 at home. These games don't go under, I must say, for the LA Dodgers. So where are we going to go? Over. It's a big number, 10. Bullpen by committee game for the Dodgers, but over 10 against San Diego tonight.
Bullpen by committee game usually means over, should get over. We need some production from the Padres. They only got 3 last night. We need them to score at least 4, get us 5, and I think we're good. What's number 2?
All right, number 2 on our hit list here. One of our favorites, Texas Rangers back in action after 8 o'clock, so we can throw this in there. 27-9 under at home this year. That is just remarkable. It really, they can't hit. They can't hit their way out of a paper bag. So with that strong under trend, where are we going to go? Under 8.5, Kansas City at the Texas Rangers.
This one should be good, especially thanks to Kansas City. They've been offensively dismal in their last, 22 games, something like that. I'll find the stat. What's number one?
Yep, that leaves us with only one. The creme de la creme coup de grace number one trend, which we rarely miss at. I don't want to put the jinx on it, but here we go, 5 on the line. We've given this out before, and it's been nothing but winners. NHL, last 17 of their last 20 matchups, Florida and Edmonton have had 6 goals or more. So, the number one trend tonight, boys. Right, over 5.5, little juice, minus 160, but again, it's well worth it because if you go over 7 or 6.5, you need 7, then you don't get those same trend numbers. 17 of the last 20 meetings have had at least 6 goals, so we're going to go over 5.5, Dave, minus 160.
Love it. That looks like another good list. Got to be at least a 3-2. Might be a 4-1 in there. I'm not sure about a 5-0 though.
I feel lucky tonight, boys. I think we're sitting on a 5-0. Oh, yeah. We're coming up.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
Rearranging that rim. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of
18.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip? Try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
All right, welcome back. It is In-Game Live, Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Dave, hour number one of our 2-hour extravaganza, as we like to call. Busy night, full slate of baseball, and obviously Game 6 starting here shortly. Florida and Edmonton as the Panthers try and wrap up the series and win it in 6, which is the subject of our poll question on Twitter/X. Very simple. Sometimes we have it complicated. Tonight's very simple, Dave. Florida Panthers, your best bet, minus 160 now, by the way, at FanDuel. Edmonton Oilers, plus 130. You want to go over 6.5 or the proverbial, well, I don't really care about the NHL or hockey. So get your vote in. Go to either at Opposite Picks, at SportsBK Consig, or at SportsGrid, at SportsGrid TV. Get your vote in. We'll update that a couple times. Just posted it. So let that simmer, if you will, and let's see what the people say today. With that, let's talk a little hockey, Dave, as we bring in our good buddy Pete Jensen. He is in charge of all the fantasy stuff at NHL.com. Had him on before. Gracious enough to join us again as we get set for Game 6. What's going on, Pete? How are you tonight?
A lot's happening here with Game 6. We got Stuart Skinner in net for Edmonton, so they're looking for that bounce back appeal, right? At least that window of hope. The Edmonton Oilers had a rough showing the other day in Game 5, so they got to be better defensively, offensively. Whether it's McDavid's got to cash in on his opportunities, or someone needs to pick him up, right? Some of the secondary scorers on Edmonton really got to get their act together if they're going to have any hope of forcing Game 7. But great to be on with you guys.
Pete, good to see you. Do you agree with the move to put Skinner back in net? I think it's the right move. I think it's the only move, to be honest. But do you agree with it?
Yeah, I do. He's had 3 shutouts this postseason. You look at his track record this postseason and even in his career in Games 4 through 7 of the series. I think he has a 930-something save percentage. I mean, he kind of like ups the ante and takes his game to another level in most of these games. Will the Edmonton Oilers claim a victory in Florida after Florida clinched it at home last year? It's going to be a mammoth task for sure. But I think that they have a window here. If they do play better defensively, if they don't fall behind by any more than, say, 1 goal, if they don't score first, not the end of the world here. But if they fall again into a 2-0, 3-0 deficit, it might be over for this team with a raucous environment. But they proved in Game 4, right? They were down 3-0 in Florida, and they won that game in pretty epic fashion in overtime. So I would expect a pretty good chance that this game goes to overtime just because of what's at stake with the Edmonton Oilers in the McDavid era. He's going to be a free agent in 2 years. So the clock is ticking on that team, and he's got to be better, I think, too. McDavid had 1 goal last game, could have scored another 2, hit the post once, fumbled a little bit, and didn't cash in early on in the first period. Came back to bite the team a little bit. And remember last year, Game 6 and 7, McDavid had 0 points, not even an assist. So, I mean, this is his time. This is legacy type stuff for McDavid.
Is he one of the guys, Pete, that you have that you think could score a goal tonight then?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he was buzzing last game. I mentioned he could have had a hat trick, only had 1. And, of course, Edmonton kind of fell flat around him. I would expect some of these other guys who have struggled in the series to try to get the most out of their game, whether it's Evander Kane, Adam Henrique, guys like that, Nugent Hopkins. Corey Perry has been very consistent all series somehow. I guess it helps when you're playing with McDavid and Draisaitl so often at even strength and on the power play. But, yeah, I think that line definitely worth tapping into. And the Perry props, whether it's a shot prop, a power play, point prop, a goal prop for Corey Perry. Corey Perry is up there among the high danger shots on goal leaders for the whole postseason. He leads the Cup final in high danger shots, and he's got, I believe, 8 high danger goals this postseason, which is at the very top of the league. So very impressive what he's doing at 40 years old. And again, riding along for the ride with McDavid and Draisaitl most shifts.
Yeah, it's a pretty good place to be. You know what else is a good place to be Sam Bennett with the Conn Smythe. But between him and Marchand, that seems like the guys for Florida. Do you think anyone else? I mean, you're talking about Florida scoring 3+ goals, and they have scored 3+ goals a lot every game. Somebody has a big game. Is there anyone on Florida other than those two do you think could win the Conn Smythe? I don't think Bobrovsky has a shot even with a shutout. What do you think?
I mean, Bobrovsky with the road record, I know they're playing at home tonight. They have, I believe, 10 road victories, which is an NHL playoff record. So I feel like if he did get a shutout, they might warm up to that idea a little bit. Barkov is doing the dirty work and the under the radar play. I don't think he comes with, that much fanfare, even though he's their best player. But he has contained McDavid. McDavid only has 1 goal in the whole series, and we played 5 games. So at least want to give a shout out to Barkov. He is their captain. I don't think he's going to win the award, but certainly would be deserving if the voters warm up to him. When you're debating Bennett and Marchand, what a great storyline this has been for Brad Marchand. Getting traded at the deadline, scoring a couple of game winners, scoring the double overtime winner in this cup final, having the goal scoring success that he's had, playing on the third line with Anton Lindell and Luosterainen. He's kind of taken those guys to another level and just been a great fit in Florida. So I feel like, Bennett is leading in goal scoring this postseason, but I'm really liking that Marchand storyline, especially if he scores, let's say, the first goal tonight or the last goal tonight, the clinching goal. Yeah. I feel like Marchand will probably get it if that happens.
The debates come up again. I'm a Bruin fan, Pete, so I'm saying yes on this. But do you think Marchand's a Hall of Famer? Did this seal the deal?
I think definitely. It's one of those things now where he has 13 career Stanley Cup final goals in the championship series. He's been to 4 of them, but he had a great one when he was younger when they beat the Canucks, and then he has 6 goals in 5 games in this year's Cup final as a 37-year-old. I mean, he seems totally rejuvenated. He's been carrying those Bruins teams over the years with Pasternak, and now is just fitting in nicely as a secondary scorer. So major props to him.
Pete, great job as always, man. Do appreciate it. We'll do it again soon.
Sounds great.
On June 25th at 7:30 p.m., ditch the guesswork. Ben Stevens, Kevin Walsh, James Young, and Tom Vecchio have your NBA draft betting coverage, pick by pick, bet by bet, all night long. We got all the insights and expert analysis, because betting blind isn't a strategy. Coverage starts at 7:30 p.m. on June 25th, only on SportsGrid.
Maybe they are the best team out in the West, because a rooting interest for me, Tom, always the Mariners. Hey, they're finally getting the hitting back, but now that's starting to slide.
We can make the case for the Rangers. They showed some things. A team that the Rangers, you and I were both very high on coming into the season. They make a shot for the wild card. But I do think it's going to be a 2-team race between the Astros and the Mariners, and that's really about it.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Does a guy like Giannis fit onto that roster if you can make some of those changes?
I just don't see a KD pursuit as being realistic for the Knicks. But hey, if they can pull a rabbit out of a hat, as Leon Rose oftentimes can, I'd go after Giannis in a heartbeat. It's just, what type of package could they entice for the Milwaukee Bucks? And is it a 3 or 4 team trade? It gets a little bit tricky in that regard.
You see the Knicks there with a plus 340 price.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Hi, welcome back in Game Live, Game Day here on the Grid. Thanks again for Pete Jensen joining us. He is the Senior Fantasy Director at NHL.com. You want to follow him on Twitter/X. It is at NHL.Jensen, Jensen, not O-N, but S-E-N. So, with that said, time for a little SGP Same Game Parlay. right, our boy Ohtani let us down last night. Thanks for nothing there, Shohei. So right back, I thought you were Superman. I thought you were Batman. I thought you were, everything combined. Arnold Schwarzenegger of the baseball world. What happened? I digress. Right back to the chance to make amends, though, Mr. Ohtani. Hopefully you're on our side. Dodgers versus San Diego. Let's put a pitchfork in L.A. We'll grab them minus the 215. Won't get too greedy as far as winning by 2 runs or more. We'll just take the nice little 5-4 win tonight. Won't fool around with the over-under. Give me Freddie Freeman. FanDuel offering new bets today. I've not noticed them, and I watch this stuff every single day. So new bets on FanDuel. You bet the combined hits, runs, and RBIs for a player. I like that as we were talking. We get into it here. A lot more than 3 bases. So Freddie Freeman, you get a home run, that encompasses all of it, right? Because he gets a hit, he gets a run, he gets an RBI. So Freddie Freeman, 3 hits, runs, and RBIs combined at plus 120. We'll go with Ohtani, same thing, at minus 155. We'll go Ohtani, 3 bases. I'm counting on him to get a home run. And we'll do Ohtani with, I'm going to go Ohtani stolen base. I'm going to put Ohtani in our same game parlay, stolen base, even if I'm using a different game. I don't care. I'm going to be on Ohtani when he steals a base. Add it all up, David. It's almost 20-1. You see there, 1987. We'll say 20-1 to keep it nice. What do you think?
Thought you outdid yourself last night, but you involving Ohtani now in 3 of the 5 pieces, including the stolen base one. This is your stubborn side, that you've referred to repeatedly while we've been doing this show. So good luck, sir. Thank you for participating and joining us here on In-Game Live Game Day and using a same-game parlay. We like it when you do this. This will be fun. Now
the book likes this one, right? The book says, come on in, let's have a seat.
Yeah.
You want a beer?
Get you a
give you
couple drink tickets. Yeah, sit down, enjoy the game. Hang out, watch the game with us. This is good. Are you concerned about the Dodgers having a bullpen game and winning? The 215
back
is
to
the
back.
biggest one. Yeah,
right, back to back. They had a bullpen game last night, right? Ohtani only going 1 inning, which I'm very surprised with. But the pitcher going for San Diego, he's not a strikeout pitcher, so that feeds right into the Dodgers, because Dodgers do strike out quite a bit. So if he's not going to, get the guys to swing and miss, then that means the Dodger bats are going to be hitting them. I wouldn't fool around with the over. It's a big number, 10. But I'm okay with it. I'll take the firepower of the Dodgers at home versus the Padres, and I'll just deal with that bullpen.
So, including Ohtani, the Dodgers used 7 pitchers yesterday. So there may be a couple guys not available tonight, so that's a lot.
Right.
What did you think of Ohtani? I mean, he hit 100. He hit 100 in one of his pitches. He looked good. Tatis worked him pretty good, got to the 3-2 count. Machado definitely swung. That was a strikeout, I thought. But, that they kept him alive, and they ended up getting a run. But, man, he's back. He never left. Yeah. He's going to be back soon, and he never left.
Yeah, I guess I didn't listen to the post game because it was a late game here on the East Coast, right? And I had so many things this morning. So, but what did they? I don't know if you did or not, Dave, or read any stories on it. Did they intend to have him go just 1 inning, or was it that he threw 28 pitches in the first inning and they said, you know what, 28 pitches, then sit down for 10 minutes and throw again with that arm? Let's not take any chances. Did they talk about that at all?
It was 30 to 40 pitches was the target pitch number. So 28 in the first inning, multiple times out of the stretch. That was enough. That was good enough. One run, whatever. But the number of pitches, that was planned. Whether it happened in 1 innings or 2 innings. So, again, I was impressed. I was like, man, there is nothing. There's nothing this guy can't do. Uh-oh. You know what to hit, Vinny?
Already?
Horn? Hit it.
Wow. Hit the horn already?
Florida
if
Panthers.
It's Florida, wow. 5 straight games they have scored first in this series.
Yep.
Crazy.
Reinhardt.
Wow. We'll talk about it when we come back with Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investment.com.
On June 25th at 7:30 p.m., ditch the guesswork. Ben Stevens, Kevin Walsh, James Young, and Tom Vecchio have your NBA draft betting coverage pick by pick, bet by bet, all night long. We got all the insights and expert analysis because betting blind isn't a strategy. Coverage starts at 7:30 p.m. on June 25th, only on SportsGrid.
Astros right now have awoken. Maybe they are the best team out in the West because a rooting interest for me, Tom, always the Mariners. Hey, they're finally getting the hitting back, but now that's starting to slide.
We can make the case for the Rangers. They shore up some things. A team that the Rangers, you and I were both very high on coming into the season. They make a shot for the wild card. But I do think it's going to be a two-team race between the Astros and the Mariners, and that's really about it.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Does a guy like Giannis fit onto that roster if you can make some of those changes?
I just don't see a KD pursuit as being realistic for the Knicks. But hey, if they can pull a rabbit out of a hat, as Leon Rose oftentimes can, I'd go after Giannis in a heartbeat. It's just, what type of package could they entice for the Milwaukee Bucks? And is it a 3 or 4 team trade? It gets a little bit tricky in that regard.
You see the Knicks there with a plus 340 price.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Dave, hour number 1. And yes, just as we were leaving, we had the goal horn. It is the Florida Panthers. Let me give you the details here. Unassisted. Good news, it was a Sam. Bad news is it was Reinhardt and not my guy Sam Bennett. But that's okay. Status quo, just as long as we don't get any goofy storylines in our Bennett or Marchand ticket for Conn Smythe. It's got to cash. It just has to. So let's talk a little hockey with our good buddy Jeff Dawson. EastCoastSportsInvestors.com is his website, and for his podcast as well, EastCoastSportsInvestors.com. So you got to be smiling, Jeff, because I know one of your plays was on the Florida Panthers, right?
We had the team total over 3.5 plus 105. We're 2-0 this series on that. We figured, hey, why not? We'll take a swing at this again. It's like, hey, 5-0 this series. First period overs in the full game over. And, it's usually first 1 to 4 has been winning these games, as we know. So Panthers scored first. Hey, last time we were here, I think the Panthers scored the first 3, and then Edmonton said, hold my beer. And next thing you know, it was 4-3, 4-4, 5-4 final. So long way to go here. I don't think Edmonton's just going to fold up here, but the Stanley Cup is in the building, and we know what that could mean.
Yeah. Florida's outscored Edmonton 12-4 in the first period this series. Getting a lead has been really, really, it's just one of those things that they continue to do. We talked about it earlier with Pete. What your expectations are for this game? Like, is it close? Is there possible overtime, JD? How does this thing play out in the next 2 hours?
You would think sooner or later, Scott, the unders have been so close. And then the third period, 5 goals, maybe a couple empty netters. Let's be realistic here. If the Panthers get a 2-goal lead early in the third, 10 minutes, 8 minutes to go, you're going to get that goaltender pulled. So this is all hands on deck for the Oilers today. If there was going to be a game, first 1 to 3, it was going to be this one. Skinner gives up an early one. If he gives up another quick one, they might pull him, put Picard back in, and then just say all hands on deck, and then it's a free-for-all.
You know, I tell you, that's not a bad bet, Jeff. What you did was the over 3.5 plus money because, right, we were talking in the break. This thing, I saw it in the mid 160s. You said you saw it as high as minus 170 on Florida before they dropped the first puck. I mean, man, all the money came in, right? So why lay $170 when the chances are pretty good that if they win, especially with empty netters, that they're going to get 4 goals, right? Was that your thinking?
Yeah, I was watching this number go from 140, 145, 50, 65, 68, and I almost picked up the phone. I knew Dave was busy today. I'm like, I couldn't get a hold of Jeffrey Benson. I'm like, hey guys, what's going on here? I mean, is Edmonton been out at the Hard Rock for the last 2 days? I mean, it made 0 sense to me, zero whatsoever. I just grabbed the plus money. It's been good to us so far. Hey, usually whoever wins is going to get to 4. We got lucky the other game in Florida where they got to 4 and lost 5-4. So, you know, Edmonton's going to put a couple behind Bob at some point. So maybe this series is overs and first period overs.
Before we get to the West Coast baseball, Jeffrey, I know you're in New England, and I know you're a Red Sox guy because you and I have attended a Red Sox game together a few years ago. It was great. What do you make of the Devers deal? Like, what's the buzz up there? I mean, everybody talking about it today going, wow, he's going to play first base for the Giants? Really? What happened?
If Matthew George pulls our tape back from about a month ago, I said either Cora or Breslow's got to go. Well, add Devers to the mix. Once John Henry and Breslow went to Kansas City and sat in front of them and didn't hear what they wanted to, game over. And they were just shopping, and they wanted to make one thing clear. If you want Devers, you're picking up the whole contract. And San Francisco bridesmaids to Judge, Ohtani, Bryce Harper, Correa. This was like a half-price deal. Hey, we'll take the $285 with pride. We're getting our lefty hitter. He signed, sealed, delivered, and miraculously, he'll play anywhere. Put him at catcher. You know, he'll be the next Buster Posey for all I know.
Wow. Are the Red Sox fans like, are they disgruntled? Are they turning aside, or do they agree with it? What is the sense from the Red Sox fan up there in New England?
Okay, so we got nothing for Mookie Betts. We got nothing for Xander Bogaerts. So now they're saying Devers. Listen, they put themselves into this hole. Once they let Betts go, once they let Bogaerts go, they had to sign Devers. And it wasn't handled well over spring training and the spring training season. Once they brought Bregman over, rumor has it, came out today, once they brought Bregman here, they were going to start to try to move Devers, free up that money. I wouldn't be surprised, guys, in the next week, 2 weeks, they pull Bregman aside, take some of that money, because he's got outs at the end of this year and next year, sign him to a long-term contract. It frees up Roman Anthony. It frees up Marcelo Meyer. It frees up Campbell. The cancer is now gone. You guys know this is a team sport here. You can't have one guy dragging everyone else down. They've won 6 in a row, 8 out of the last 9. The pitching staff's pitching great. We're cooking with Crisco, guys.
Yeah, they are. I mean, 6 in a row is good. And now, you know, not eight more games on the road. We talked about it last night. I said 4 and 5. Scott said 5 and 4. We'll see how that ends up. West Coast game tonight, Dodgers, Padres. Was a good one last night for a little while, and then the Dodgers opened it up, got it going. Got to play in that game tonight?
I will tell everyone, tread lightly. This kid for the Padres, Vasquez, metrics is one of the worst in baseball. Yet every time I go against him, he's Cy Vasquez. We got the Dodgers -0.5, first 5, minus the 135. Dodgers team total even is 3.5. It was a 6 for the first 5 under over. I'm expecting runs. Maybe it's on both sides. But at the end of 5, I think the Dodgers will be leading by at least 1 run here, guys.
Yeah, you playing Rafi Devers? Is he, is he going to hit a home run? You going to play that tonight against Cleveland?
If I could,
got it right. You have to, right?
I wish there was a prop hit by pitch. I'd call him out and send him a Venmo to do it.
Oh my goodness. Well, I mean, you looked at these other games. Houston and Oakland. We had Houston last night here on the show on the first, 5 on the line. Anything in this game?
Another 6 first 5 here, guys. Expecting runs on both sides here. I even saw the Oakland team total at a 4.5 and a 5.5. I've seen it as high as 11. Houston, all of a sudden now got a 4.5 game lead. We got their team total over 5.5. I think this is a shootout at the OK Corral. I think first 1 to 6 wins this game, and I think the Astros get the touchdown. We don't need the extra point, 2-point conversion. Just get us to 6 and we'll move on.
All right. How about a little WNBA action, which is going to get a little bit more attention when the hockey and NBA ends this week. So we got a game starting a little bit later on. Dallas and Golden State. The Volkies actually doing fairly well as an expansion team. What do you like tonight in that one?
We were 2-0 last week in this segment, and we even picked the Seattle underdogs to win outright.
You did. Minnesota at the time. I remember you saying that. Yeah.
Yep.
So take a look at this. You got a Dallas team 1-11 versus, as you said, Golden State now 5-5 playing well. Dallas -3. We left the 3 on the table. Something smells here. We got the Dallas money line -145. Expect them and hoping that they just win the game outright.
Cool. Jeff, great job as always, man. Check out his website, eastcoastsportsinvestors.com. Got a podcast on there as well each day for all his plays, eastcoastsportsinvestors.com. So, Jeff, great job as always, man. We'll do it again soon. Thanks. Enjoy the rest of the game.
Let's get some more foghorns going.
There you go.
On June 25th at 7:30 p.m., ditch the guesswork. Ben Stevens, Kevin Walsh, James Young, and Tom Vecchio have your NBA draft betting coverage pick by pick, bet by bet, all night long. We got all the insights and expert analysis because betting blind isn't a strategy. Coverage starts at 7:30 p.m. on June 25th, only on SportsGrid.
Maybe they are the best team out in the West because a rooting interest for me, Tom, always the Mariners. Hey, they're finally getting the hitting back, but now that's starting to slide.
We can make the case for the Rangers. They shore up some things. A team that the Rangers, you and I were both very high on coming into the season. They make a shot for the wild card. But I do think it's going to be a two-team race between the Astros and the Mariners, and that's really about it.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Does a guy like Giannis fit onto that roster if you can make some of those changes?
I just don't see a KD pursuit as being realistic for the Knicks. But hey, if they can pull a rabbit out of a hat, as Leon Rose oftentimes can, I'd go after Giannis in a heartbeat. It's just, what type of package could they entice for the Milwaukee Bucks? And is it a 3 or 4 team trade? It gets a little bit tricky in that regard.
You see the Knicks there with a plus 340 price.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Dave, hour number 1. Thanks again, Jeff Dawson, EastCoastSportsInvestors.com for giving us a couple of winners. Keep your fingers crossed with a little hockey, which you can still bet these team totals, by the way. That's why we have guys on, FanDuel and all the sites. They all offer, adjusted lines. And for the most part, that is pretty much the same thing, 3.5. And then all the other baseball stuff and WNBA as well right here on the grid. So 1-0, Dave. The number on FanDuel now. Let me just flip over to my NHL page. It was minus 330. Yeah, 330. Over/under is down to 5.5. Minus 138. Got 6.5 minutes left to go in the first period. Is that a fluke in your eyes, or is there something to Edmonton? You know, as I mentioned when we had Dave on, you know. Only seven games in this postseason have they scored first. I mean, that's crazy when you think about all the games they played. I mean, is there something to that? 5 straight games now. They scored first in game number 1. Florida scores first the next 5. I mean, they're in the Stanley Cup Finals, and it's 3-2. So obviously it hasn't hurt them that much. But what do you account for that? Is this a fluky thing, or is there something to that?
Well, that was a giveaway that just happened. But when it repeatedly happens, it's something. Whether it's, I mean, in a couple of the other games, it was undisciplined. You know, they gave up, they took penalties and gave the other team power plays, you know, in the first period. So that can continually happen. I don't think it's a fluke. I mean, it's a repeated pattern of behavior. So it's unfortunate. You can get a much better price with Edmonton right now. But, man, I'm looking at the total, and it's 5.5. You know, after a couple more minutes here, it's going to be 4.5. The way these games have gone, we got to look for a number to go over, whether it's 4.5 or 3.5. I mean, because, I thought the last game was going under. I think this game could go under if Florida continues to play like this. Now, they're being outshot. Let me hit refresh.
8-6.
What does that say? 8-6. Okay.
Yeah.
There has not been a power play in the game yet, Scott. So we have to keep an eye on that.
That's interesting.
Right? Hasn't been a penalty called. So we got a tweet here from who's this? JD in Florida. Look at this. Panthers in regulation. Oilers and Panthers, first period over 1.5, so he needs another goal. Bennett, anytime goal, plus 160. Perry, over 2.5 shots on goal, plus 150. It's a pretty juicy parlay right there. Do you like that one?
That's not bad. He doesn't give us what is a payoff. He didn't give us that, but I'm guessing that's a halfway decent price. You got a couple pluses in there. So, the only thing is he needs one more goal. You would think you'd get one more. You got one goal 4.5 minutes in, but listen, we've seen crazy things happen. It's not that big a deal. But you're right. You need one more. Shots are coming though. Bobrovsky already 8 saves, like we said, without shooting them 8-6. So who's got what? No one has 2 on Edmonton. Everyone's the 1. So when we get to 2, then we'll kind of.
What was the producers pick tonight? Did you see the producers had a pick tonight? The producers had a pick tonight, I believe, in the hockey game. We have to see if we can find that.
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah. I thought we did have one of those. So if you guys can find that, see if you can find that.
If they post, Florida scores first, then it's like, okay.
Nah, we can't get past posted. We cannot get past posted.
Yeah, we can't. You can't do that. Only we're allowed to do that.
Can't have that. Yeah.
All right, so 5. I'm surprised. Are they? I don't have the game on. I'm flipping channels here. Are they not being physical? Or are they letting things go? That there's no penalties, or is it that both teams are just like enough of the nonsense? Life's on the line here.
So far, for me, what I'm observing while we're doing the show, Florida's got the lead, and they are keeping the puck to the outside really, really well. Edmonton's having trouble getting the puck to the net. Now they're getting 1 shot and no rebounds. So, Florida, I don't want to say they're content with the 1-goal lead, but they're playing like they're good with the 1-goal lead right now. Kind of not sitting back, but
team does this.
Cross the red line and dump it in. Cross the red line and dump it in. Unless you have even numbers or odd man rush, they are really dumping and chasing right now. And again, that hasn't worked. That's let Edmonton back in the games. There's a producer's pick, by the way. Went with Marchand to score a goal.
Marchand anytime goal. Listen, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Guy's got goals in every game except 1. He's got 6 goals, most in Florida. For the Stanley Cup. What's his price going to be?
Guy. Who?
Yeah. Marchand this offseason. Free agent. Wouldn't it be funny? I mean, this is the type of guy that Edmonton needs. This is the type of guy that Toronto needs, right? I mean, he probably, I don't know if he doubled his paycheck, Dave, with this performance this postseason, but man, he can name his price. There's going to be a lot of teams that are going to be like, man, this is what we need. Gritty guy, put him on the third line, let him produce. Experience, obviously. I bet his price went way up.
You think so?
Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of prices going up, no, I don't know. I mean, he's old. Like that's the thing, right? He's going to get a 1-year deal with a big price. Maybe.
No.
I don't think they're going to give him 2
years.
Give him 2 years. Okay.
Somebody's got to give him at least 2 years. I wouldn't be surprised for 3. Because his agent, if he's smart, is going to say, well, wait a minute now. I got my 37-year-old has got 3 years on Corey Perry, who's still scoring goals in the Stanley Cup Championship.
True.
Who played great.
True.
So, yeah, 3 years. Yeah. And there'll be some team that'll say, all right, if we got to bite the bullet the last year, if we get him for 2 and we got to eat that 3rd year, so be it. I'd be surprised if he didn't get at least 2. But I think this performance got him a 3-year deal.
I got a price for you. Plus $5 on the New York Yankees. Down 3-0 after 6 innings to the Angels. Interested? That team can't hit.
6 innings?
Yeah.
That's 26 straight innings now. They were scoreless for 20 straight heading into today. And that's 2 innings, Dave, with a runner on second base yesterday in the 10th and 11th innings.
Oh, yeah, and extras. Yeah.
Yeah, so 26 straight innings for the Stanks.
Surprise, surprise. The Mets are 3-0. You don't want them?
Yeah. Our producer's pretty quiet.
Yeah, 3-0.
I had the Angels. Betting the Angels all series.
Okay, good.
Yeah, the Yankees aren't hitting, then forget about it. They're more than capable of losing.
Nope.
So, do have one play, though. It's the Black Cloud play. That's next here on the grid.
On June 25th at 7:30 p.m., ditch the guesswork. Ben Stevens, Kevin Walsh, James Young, and Tom Vecchio have your NBA draft betting coverage pick by pick, bet by bet, all night long. We got all the insights and expert analysis because betting blind isn't a strategy. Coverage starts at 7:30 p.m. on June 25th, only on SportsGrid.
Have awoken. Maybe they are the best team out in the West because a rooting interest for me, Tom, always the Mariners. Hey, they're finally getting the hitting back, but now that's starting to slide.
We can make the case for the Rangers. They shore up some things. A team that the Rangers, you and I were both very high on coming into the season. They make a shot for the wild card. But I do think it's going to be a 2-team race between the Astros and the Mariners, and that's really about it.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Does a guy like Giannis fit onto that roster if you can make some of those changes?
I just don't see a KD pursuit as being realistic for the Knicks. But hey, if they can pull a rabbit out of a hat, as Leon Rose oftentimes can, I'd go after Giannis in a heartbeat. It's just, what type of package could they entice for the Milwaukee Bucks? And is it a 3 or 4 team trade? It gets a little bit tricky in that regard.
You see the Knicks there with a plus 340 price.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Welcome back in Game Live, Game Day on the Grid, closing out hour number 1 of our 2-hour extravaganza. As we always do, our best play of the night. And this is a good one, our Black Cloud play of the day. All right, now they're all good, but last night was more of a hunch play, and I don't like to do hunches. And I mean, when I put in the over Ohtani, 1.5 strikeouts, that was like a hunch. The line was so good, but we really didn't know if he was going to go 1 inning, 2 innings, 3 innings. So we need to pass for last night. We'll produce a winner tonight because it's really a good play versus a hunch play. And that's out in San Francisco, where Rafi Devers makes his Giants debut tonight. I'm assuming he will. San Fran at home against Cleveland. I mean, it's endless on why you should be playing the Giants in this game, right? I'll start with San Francisco's minus 145. They're 14-4 their last 18 games against Cleveland. All right, they're 8-3 their last 11. Cleveland is 3-8 its last 11. You got Robbie Ray on the hill for the Giants, their ace. He's 8-1, including 4-0 at home. In his 14 starts this year, San Francisco is 12-2. You need more. How about San Fran overall, 22-11 at home this season, one of the best records at home in baseball, while the Guardians are 4 games under 500 overall on the season on the road. So it's like everything. And now you throw in the Rafi Devers debut. The stadium's going to be pumped up. Fans are going to be juiced. I'd be surprised if they didn't give him a standing ovation. Boy, how is San Francisco at only minus 145 with Robbie Ray on the hill as well? That's my only hesitation. It's like, boy, this has got rat-you-know-what written all over it. But San Fran, Dave, minus 145, right? Is that line a little stinky to you?
Hold on. Vinny, do it again.
Oh.
Do it again.
Here we go.
Do it again.
Tell me it's Florida.
Florida. 2. Florida.
Wow.
2. Edmonton.
The over
0.
1.5 hits, Dave, with 30-some seconds left in the first period. Wow.
I believe it was Matthew Tkachuk got credit for the goal.
All right, I'll take it.
Yeah, so no danger of the Conn Smythe yet, unless that was deflected in front. We'll see who gets the goal. I don't think it was, though. Listen, Florida's just better.
Is it over?
They're just better. It's 2-0. Back to this game. You gave all the stats. I have them all as well. I went through and looked at this and said, I don't know why this line's this low. It should be minus 160 minimum.
Yeah.
There's only one team in baseball that has a worse record than the Cleveland Guardians against left-handed pitchers. The Colorado Rockies are 1-19 against left-handed pitchers.
Oof.
Cleveland, 6-13. So,
wow.
Robbie Ray, they hit when he pitches. 12-2 in his starts. Listen, the Black Cloud power is strong, but when you're on, you've been rolling. I like it a lot.
Yeah, just the 145 though, boy, that just. I hopped all over that, and put it in this morning when I saw it. And then, then after you go through the emotional rush of I got a line, then you're like, oh, wait a minute now, this should not be 145. Well, did Robbie Ray get his arm amputated, or all of a sudden he's going to try and throw right-handed tonight? I mean, so all right, we'll take it though. Minus 145. Giants our Black Cloud play of the day. Yes, Tkachuk does get credit for the goal. His 8th of the postseason. Reinhart got the first one. The Reinhart goal was unassisted. This one, we got Lundell and Lusterarian. that guy's name. E2. So, all right, no biggie. For our I don't think they're going to give it our Conn Smythe. We're okay with this. That's fine.
Yeah.
I tell you, I didn't think Florida would win tonight because I would cash in about 5 bets, Dave. I really would. And you know what that bet just did? That cashed our 8.5 to 1 ticket. In fact, plus 880 to be exact. Florida got their 25th goal. Remember those goofy props we did at the beginning of the series?
Yeah, with the second goal.
Second goal, they had 25 now for the Stanley Cup. Plus 880. Cha-ching, cha-ching. George Kurtz coming up next, talking some hockey with him.
On June 25th at 7:30 p.m., ditch the guesswork. Ben Stevens, Kevin Walsh, James Young, and Tom Vecchio have your NBA draft betting coverage pick by pick, bet by bet, all night long. We got all the insights and expert analysis because betting blind isn't a strategy. Coverage starts at 7:30 p.m. on June 25th, only on SportsGrid.
Astros right now have awoken. Maybe they are the best team out in the West because a rooting interest for me, Tom, always the Mariners. Hey, they're finally getting the heading back, but now that's starting to slide.
We can make the case for the Rangers. They shore up some things. A team that the Rangers, you and I were both very high on coming into the season. They make a shot for the wild card. But I do think it's going to be a two-team race between the Astros and the Mariners, and that's really about it.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Does a guy like Giannis fit onto that roster if you can make some of those changes?
I just don't see a KD pursuit as being realistic for the Knicks. But hey, if they can pull a rabbit out of a hat, as Leon Rose oftentimes can, I'd go after Giannis in a heartbeat. It's just, what type of package could they entice for the Milwaukee Bucks? And is it a 3 or 4 team trade? It gets a little bit tricky in that regard.
You see the Knicks there with a plus 340 price.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Welcome back. It is in-game live game day here on the grid. Hour number 2 of our 2-hour extravaganza. Scott and Dave until 10 p.m. Eastern time. Then it's Cam and Gabe taking over. Watching a little hockey, Stanley Cup Finals. They're in between the first and second period with Florida leading at 2-0, scoring late in the first period to make that a 2-0 lead. We got a full slate of baseball. Got our poll question out there. Let me throw it out there one more time. Simple bet, which one is your best bet for tonight? Florida, Edmonton, the over, or the I don't like the NHL? Right now, Florida, with the 2-0 lead, naturally, leading it in our vote count with 54% of the vote. Edmonton, 26, over 12, and only 8%. I like that, saying that they don't like the NHL. So we'll keep that out there, and go ahead, feel free to get the vote in, even though it is 2-0. It's pretty obvious now, but that's okay. Keep the votes coming, and we'll update that at least one more time. So with that said, Dave, let us bring in our good buddy, talk a little hockey, a little baseball. George Kurtz, seeing him all the time here on the grid. What's going on, George? How are you tonight, bud?
Miserable. I'm pretty much miserable tonight. That's how I am here. Let you know how the night's going as far as Dave tried to tweak me, or didn't try. He did tweak me during the break here. Yankees suck, and I'm on. I've got a slew of bets on Edmonton tonight, even though I said it on Game Time with Adam, man.
Why?
The noggin told me Florida's going to win tonight. I'm going down with the ship, man. I picked Edmonton to win the series. I am going down with the ship.
Yeah, well, it's 2-0, and it looks bleak. It looks bleak in the Bronx, too. The Angels are leading 4-0. We'll get to that in a second. Who wins at Conn Smythe in your eyes if Florida holds on here and wins?
What's the score going to be? If it's a shutout, Bobrovsky's got a shot. I mean, he only gave 2 goals in Game 5. If he gets a shutout here, I mean, and if Bennett doesn't do anything and Marchand doesn't do anything in this game, neither one has a goal right now. Reinhart scored the first goal. Kachuk scored the second. He gets a shutout. I think Bob would have a shot, which would be very interesting here. That being said, it depends how the next 2 periods go. All right? If it's a 6-0 wipeout and Marchand doesn't do anything, it'll be Bennett. If Marchand can get 2 points here somehow, maybe if everything gets back in, it's a bigger goal here, then Marchand, I think, would win it here. Right now, as it stands right now, 2-0, I think it's Sam Bennett.
Is this the last game for Connor McDavid in an Edmonton Oilers uniform? Assuming they lose.
No, I can't. What are they going to trade him? You can't possibly get enough.
Traded Gretzky?
Yeah, but Gretzky might have been a little bit different situation back then. I mean,
not really.
You
Not really,
can't
Georgia.
get
If they go to him and say, listen, you got a year left in your contract, we want to re-sign you now, and he says, you know what, I'm tired. I'm tired of losing. I'm not going to re-sign with you. It's the same, in essence, it's the same thing as Gretzky. Well, then we're going to trade you before we lose you for nothing then.
I don't see him. Even if he wasn't going back there, I just don't see them trading McDavid. I don't. I mean, it would take a lot of, let's use the right word, a lot of guts. Throstos to trade McDavid if you're the Edmonton Oilers there. But I do see your point, by the way. If he says no way in hell am I signing here, yeah, then you probably do have to move him. I'm the Islander fan. Garth Snow not trading John Tavares when John Tavares would not sign that contract extension was a terrible move for the Islanders, right? It was awful because you lost listen, Tavares is not McDavid, so I'm not comparing the two as far as talent, but Tavares is a star, just not a superstar. You can't lose that kind of player for nothing. So I do get your point. I just don't know if the Oilers are going to have the stones to do that here. A lot of it will come down to what you're saying. Does McDavid want out? As he's, we're never going to win a cup here. We come so close, we just can't do it here. Does he truly believe that? You've gone to the cup in back-to-back years. You're playing with Draisaitl. You got Hyman here. Unless he wants to play for a huge market, does he want to go to the Rangers? Does he want to go to our original 6 team? I guess I could see it happening, but I'm going to answer your question. No, I don't think this is his last game in an Edmonton uniform.
I'll ask you an easy question. What's wrong with the Yankee offense, George? I mean, they can't score a run.
This is, I think we're at 5 runs in 56 innings now, if I remember correctly. No runs in 27 innings, I believe is what we're up to now for the Yankees. I mean, listen, if you want to pile on Aaron Boone, this all started when he gave Aaron Judge a day off that Judge did not want. He gave him the last Thursday, gave it there, everything's gone straight downhill since. The Yankees can't hit. They go through this, not to this degree, but they do go through this every year where they just can't hit all of a sudden. For whatever reason, they just can't hit. And we know the Yankees are not a good fundamental team. All right, they're not going to move the runner over second to third. They're not going to get hit and run. They're not going to steal base here. Either they're hitting home runs or they're not. And right now, obviously, they're not hitting home runs here. So they're struggling here. But people, the Yankees on a scale of 1 to 10, they're a 6.5 team. This is not a great team. It's better than average. Maybe slightly better, good. Maybe a little worse than good here. It's like the entire American League here. So you can't panic really all that much here, but it's ugly right now. And really what's really more disturbing is that they're wasting so many good pitching performances here. It's not like they scored 5 runs in the last, 56 innings now. I think they've given up 11.
Wow. That's amazing. Yeah, you said it, 27 straight innings. I mean, that's just like at Fenway Park and now at home. So it's not like you're playing in San Francisco here. So all right, before we get to the games that have yet to begin, any games on the board that you would play right now for the viewers?
Yeah, well, I got to make it up for baseball. By the way, I bet against, I said earlier, I bet against the Yankees today, and I'll be betting against them tomorrow too. By the way, take the under. Take the under with the Yankees and take the Angels until they start to hit. I said the Yankees do this every year, so this is a little advantage that we can take here. I didn't do it the game against Crochet, right? Because didn't know it was coming then. But after that, I've been taking the under ever since. The Yankees just don't look very good. As far as games that are in progress, I think you mean that I might go at here. I mean, I'm already. I think you hadn't started yet. I'm already on the Mets over the Braves here. I think the Braves are a false. They're not making the playoffs. I think they're a false team here. I don't think they're going anywhere this season here. I'm on Detroit, so that's going well here. I went the over with Arizona and Toronto, so I'm going to need some runs here. That's 7.5 now. We're at 5 runs. Can I get 3 more runs against the bad Arizona bullpen here? And you might want to, by the way, even take the Blue Jays at +2-1, which I think I'm going to do, because the Arizona bullpen sucks. And that's a place we can attack here. I'm getting +210 here. I'm going to go in on the Blue Jays here to make a comeback.
Out west, I'll let you pick the game. San Francisco at home, the Dodgers at home. Which one do you think? The prices are almost exactly the same, which seems a little bit off to me. But like one, both, or neither?
Well, we get Devers, right? He's going to show up, have his first game of San Fran tonight. DH, by the way, for those who are wondering. But the ultimate FU in that press conference. Oh, yeah, I'll play anywhere they want me to. That is just I mean, that was fantastic. Well, I absolutely love it. He knew it was coming, by the way. He knew he was going to do that. I'm on San Fran tonight. All right, it's not so much the Devers thing, although I certainly think that helps. It helps their offense here. Robbie Ray has pitched great. Absolutely great. Cleveland can't hit. You know, they've struggled all year long. Why anybody ever lets Jose Ramirez beat them is beyond me. Once again, every time, walk, go away. Let anybody else beat me. The Yankees did not score a run. Hit one to a track. So I'm on the Giants tonight here to beat Cleveland here. I wanted to take the under, but I got 7, a flat 7. I can't do that. All right, I can't take the under there here. Didn't anybody think the Dodgers last night were telling baseball, we are so good. We can have somebody rehab at the major league level in a major league game as they have Ohtani start the game here. It's like, you got to be kidding me. They just don't care. We are that good here. That being said, I'm on the over tonight, Dodgers and Padres. Just the pitching match speaks the over to me. Don't have a great feel for the game. What is it, Dreyer and Vasquez here? I'm not laying 215 in that case with the Dodgers here. If anything, I would take the Padres there, but without Merrill, they're not the same team either. I like the over in that game much better.
George, great job as always, man. I do appreciate a couple minutes with you tonight. Good luck with all the plays, and no doubt we'll do it again soon. Game Live continues here on the grid.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this once? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that rhythm. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of
15.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip, try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Dave, hour number 2, getting ready to start the second period here. Just a couple of moments with the Florida Panthers leading it 2-0 over the Edmonton Oilers. So with that, get it settling in there a little bit. Take a look at the baseball board here, Dave. Got a couple of things here that I do like. I did like the Angels. Unfortunately, not unfortunately, but they're winning. But, I can't complain about that, but I wouldn't let them double down. I like what George said about Toronto and that Arizona bullpen, which stinks. So top of the 7th inning, Arizona does have a couple of runners on, and so you get Toronto plus 190, kind of like that one. Twinkies with a 3-run homer after against Andrew Abbott, who's pitched great, 6-1 ERA under 2. But the Twins lead 5-4 now, bottom 6. Not getting a big price, plus 130 on Cincinnati. But I did like the Reds in the game, but obviously if they win, it's not going to happen the way I thought it would. Any underdogs or any plays in baseball you like, for that matter, before we get to the
I mean, that Reds plus 160, that plus 160 looks appealing for the Reds in game because the Twins have been bad recently, right? 4-game losing streak, I think. Obviously, wearing the Brewers stuff on the Brewers, plus they're up 2-1. They are now minus 180. Wow, seems a bit much actually. You might want to look at the Cubs if you like the Cubs at plus 130. Rays have been as good as any team in baseball. Actually, the best team in baseball since May 20th. 19-6 last 25 games. Literally the best record in baseball. Could be live there. One for Orioles in the 5th, one in the 6th. So you can get the Rays plus 320 against the Baltimore Orioles, who at the same time, I mean, don't forget, the Orioles are on the season a smooth 30-41. So, no one's laying that juice, I can tell you that. Scott, that's one of those games where you're only getting bet on one side as the book, and you're sitting there going, geez, should I adjust it or not? Then you end up needing Baltimore for, a boatload by the end of the game. Do you think they hang on and win that game?
I would take a flyer on Tampa Bay. Bottom 6, you got 4 at-bats. They got a runner on first base, according to FanDuel, albeit with 2 out. Chances are it's probably going to the 7th, but still, that's okay. We got to bring it up just because we make fun of them so many times, and rightfully so. But Colorado winning again tonight, 10-2 over the Washington Nationals, Dave, who very quietly have lost 9 straight, and then, barring a crazy comeback here, would have lost 10 straight games. I mean, they were actually playing halfway decent ball, kind of like the Oakland A's in the American League or Sacramento A's, whatever. And then they just went into a nasty tailspin to the A's and they, turned back into the A's. Nationals kind of the same thing. I mean, it's funny. 2 of the worst teams in baseball, right, outside of Colorado, Miami, and they swept Miami in Miami, and Washington, and they're in the process of taking 2 of the first 3. So maybe the Rockies really aren't that bad, at least not now against Washington.
Maybe not. And the other thing to take away from that is sometimes when you see a number on a bad team who is playing bad because they're playing another perceived bad team, a lot of times it's the opportunity is to take the plus. I mean, they closed minus 180 today.
Crazy.
Washington minus 180. I wouldn't have made the minus 180 over Topeka High. And Topeka High's got a good pitching staff this year. You know what I mean?
Yes. How about that? Nice reference there. All right, couple games here. Let's go to the late games that are starting. First one here, it starts in about 20 minutes or so. Red Sox and Seattle. Little addition by subtraction, I imagine. One thing I didn't think of yesterday, even though they did win 2-0, is they had a day game, obviously, Sunday afternoon, flew all the way to Seattle and played last night. No in-between break. Sometimes the adrenaline kicks in for that first game, and it's the second game that you say, whew, I'm pooped. And maybe that's going to show up tonight. Bueller's on the hill. He hasn't been very good for Boston. Woo's on the hill for the Mariners, minus 162. We gave you the numbers about the overs, at 29-9 over last 38 meetings, even though yesterday did go under. So I still kind of like the over 7, even though, the Red Sox lineup, obviously, without Devers isn't great. But I'll do one more flyer on the over 7 because of that trend.
All right. I can see that, but as good as the Red Sox have been in this stretch, it's because of their pitching. It's not
right.
Opposite side of that. We got Woo here. Let me make sure. The Mariners have lost each of Woo's last 4 starts. He's 0-3 with a 5.11 ERA in that stretch and has allowed 6 home runs. That's 14 earned in 24 2/3. Bats are hitting for the Red Sox. They could get a couple runs, get up early. Red Sox first 5 might be a play, and then maybe it'll catch up, like you said, of the cross-country flight and the second day being there if you don't like them in the game. I think them alive in the first 5 for sure. Now, that would mean you're going with Walker Buehler.
Right.
This guy's allowed 11 home runs at 55 and 2/3 innings. There's only 6 pitchers that have a worse home run rate than Buehler, 1.78 homers per 9 innings in 2025. So somebody may be hitting a home run for Seattle.
Yeah. I was okay with that signing, but he has not pitched well for Boston. He's one of the few guys. So hopefully that turns around. Cleveland, San Fran, we went over that with the Black Cloud play. I mean, it all does point to San Fran. 14-4 against Cleveland. They're 9-5 in June. Got the Rafi Devers debut. He's wearing number 16. Number 11, he wore with the Red Sox, is Carl Hubble, the old San Francisco Giants pitcher. Really, New York Giants pitcher. So, Red, he was the first one. Here's a goofy stat. I meant to look this one up, pertaining to Devers. The Giants haven't had a player hit 30 home runs since Barry Bonds. I got a feeling that they meant left-handed player. That's what I'm guessing. But is that possible?
I have to go back. I don't know.
It's been a while since Bonds has played.
Right? That is a long time.
Yeah. Someone's got to hit 30, right? I think they meant left-handed.
I'm going
I'll
to
check
tweet
it.
at it.
Back, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
On June 25th at 7:30 p.m., ditch the guesswork. Ben Stevens, Kevin Walsh, James Young, and Tom Vecchio have your NBA draft betting coverage pick by pick, bet by bet, all night long. We got all the insights and expert analysis because betting blind isn't a strategy. Coverage starts at 7:30 p.m. on June 25th, only on SportsGrid.
Astros right now have awoken. Maybe they are the best team out in the West because a rooting interest for me, Tom, always the Mariners. Hey, they're finally getting the hitting back, but now that's starting to slide.
We can make a case for the Rangers. They shore up some things. A team that the Rangers, you and I were both very high on coming into the season. They make a shot for the wild card. But I do think it's going to be a two-team race between the Astros and the Mariners, and that's really about it.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Does a guy like Giannis fit onto that roster if you can make some of those changes?
I just don't see a KD pursuit as being realistic for the Knicks. But hey, if they can pull a rabbit out of a hat, as Leon Rose oftentimes can, I'd go after Giannis in a heartbeat. It's just, what type of package could they entice for the Milwaukee Bucks? And is it a 3 or 4 team trade? It gets a little bit tricky in that regard.
You see the Knicks there with a plus 340 price.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Dave, hour number 2, 24 past the hour. So, yeah, we looked it up. That's true. That's amazing. The last San Francisco Giant, obviously, to hit 30 home runs, lefty or righty, is Barry Bonds in 2004. They've gone 21 straight seasons without, not a 40 or God forbid, 50, without a 30 home run guy. Man, no wonder no one wants to sign with them, right? I mean, and if you ever needed more proof how sticking a couple of needles in your ass will help you, there you go. I mean, no one's done it since, and Barry Bonds was doing it like, it was going out of style. So, but 21 straight years without a 30 home run guy. That's amazing.
That's going to be the longest stretch in baseball, right? There can't be another team with that many years. It has to be.
Has to be.
Well, imagine how overjoyed they are then getting Devers, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they got a guy who, let me double check here. I did pull up a stat with the Giants. Is this possible? Giants left-handed batters have a National League low 15 home runs this season. That's the whole team combined. All the left-handers combined.
15.
Yeah. So, insert him. Where's he going to hit, 3 or 4? I didn't look.
He hit 2 at Boston. So put him ahead of Yastrzemski, I would think. Maybe Yastrzemski, Chapman, Devers, Yastrzemski, Chapman, something like that.
So it's Lee, Adames, and Devers. So he's going to hit in front of Ramos.
30.
Yeah.
Ramos.
So that's Ramos. Bet him to probably have a pretty good, or Adames to have a home run tonight. Right? He's going to see better pitches.
Right. That's what you find. Yeah, exactly. Find out who he's hitting in front of, or who's hitting in front of him, and then boom, there's your home run guy. Exactly. Are they? Well, I tell you what, Dave. That division was good to begin with. We all, I think, kind of had our doubts about San Fran, but you talk about a division. The Dodgers, obviously, the Padres now. Arizona's really good. I'm waiting for them to really kind of turn it on, and now San Francisco makes this kind of move. That's a tough division. Boy, the National League, then you throw in, the Braves and Phillies and Mets, and the NL East. But the National League has got so many really good teams compared to the American League. That is one tough division.
Oh, it's way deeper. It's way, way deeper. San Francisco's got a 9-game homestand starting right now. They got Cleveland, then Boston, and then Miami. Okay? They are 22-11 at home this year. You mentioned that earlier. 19-20 on the road. So with those 9 games, how many do you think they win? We talked about it last night with Boston. You said 5-4 on their road trip. I said 4-5. San Francisco's looking at 6-3, maybe 7-2 on that homestand, though.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I would think at worst 6-3.
Right, lose one game in each series, or win one, or lose one, lose 2, and then sweep Miami over the weekend. I mean, that's pretty good. This is a good stretch. Right in the middle of a 9-game homestand, you get to put Rafael Devers in the 3-hole. That's a good trade.
Yeah, it's amazing. That NL West. I have a ticket on them to actually win the World Series. Not the Giants, but the NL West. I put the Dodgers in. Yeah, I put the Dodgers in. I'll check here. I think the Dodgers were like plus 240 or so. Maybe 230. And then they were offering me the NL West at plus 180. And I said, well, listen, I'm not really thinking Arizona or San Fran, but I said, Arizona, the World Series not that long ago, and then San Diego, it's only costing me 50 cents to grab a couple of teams. Now I got 4 teams that legitimately, might challenge for a World Series run. So that was a pretty good bet.
That would be something if they all made the playoffs. You would be super live, right?
That would be crazy. Now, the balanced schedule, it could happen, because you're not playing the division teams more than
because the Phillies and the Mets feel like they're both going to make it. Only one team's coming out of the Central, so you're going to get 2 out of the NL West in addition to the division winner. I don't think you're going to get 3.
Yeah. Reds must have done something because now they're minus 440. Yep, they scored 2 on the bottom of the 6-5.
Yep.
6-5. So hopefully you got that in before that flipped, because I know I tried and I couldn't, unfortunately. So, all right, quick little break. Then back to the board we go as the second period is underway. 2-0 Florida.
On June 25th at 7:30 p.m., ditch the guesswork. Ben Stevens, Kevin Walsh, James Young, and Tom Vecchio have your NBA draft betting coverage pick by pick, bet by bet, all night long. We got all the insights and expert analysis because betting blind isn't a strategy. Coverage starts at 7:30 p.m. on June 25th, only on SportsGrid.
Astros right now have awoken. Maybe they are the best team out in the West because a rooting interest for me, Tom, always the Mariners. Hey, they're finally getting their heading back, but now that's starting to slide.
We can make the case for the Rangers. They shore up some things. A team that the Rangers, you and I were both very high on coming into the season. They make a shot for the wild card. But I do think it's going to be a two-team race between the Astros and the Mariners, and that's really about it.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Does a guy like Giannis fit onto that roster if you can make some of those changes?
I just don't see a KD pursuit as being realistic for the Knicks. But hey, if they can pull a rabbit out of a hat, as Leon Rose oftentimes can, I'd go after Giannis in a heartbeat. It's just, what type of package could they entice for the Milwaukee Bucks? And is it a 3 or 4 team trade? It gets a little bit tricky in that regard.
You see the Knicks there with a plus 340 price.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Welcome back in Game Live, Game Day on the Grid. Scott and Dave, hour number 2, half hour to go. We got Cam Stewart coming up in about 10 minutes or so. We'll get some thoughts from the NHL and baseball, and maybe even recap a little bit the U.S. Open. We didn't have a chance yesterday to talk about that with all the craziness that's going on in the golfing world. So hockey, though, Dave, still 2-0, approaching midway through the second period. About 10.5 minutes left. Florida on top, obviously. 14-1 are the Panthers. Edmonton plus 680. Over-under is, clinging on to 5.5. I don't think they really want to go 4.5 because we've seen too many crazy things occur, right? So they're giving us plus 138 if you want to go over. You need to get something out of Edmonton. Let me check the shot on goals here because we got our 2 shot on goal props. So right now it is...
You're right on pace.
Yeah. Yeah, Bobrovsky 17 saves. So that's good. I would think that would turn it on, and he would get, what do we need, 28 out of him. They bumped it up just a little bit over 27.5. So that's not too bad. Would you be disappointed? I mean, obviously you would, but you kind of defending McDavid, right? And I've been killing him. So if they get blanked tonight, 3-0, 4-0, whatever the case may be, and he doesn't show, is your support of him wavering just a little or no?
No, I mean, all the critics, all the noises becomes real. I mean, all the talk becomes fact. Another year to the finals, another year. He got 1 goal, right?
Yeah.
Team loses. Now, it wasn't 7 games, it was 6. The rumblings of him not being there next year is already happening, despite the fact that he has another year on the contract, that they move him. I think that you actually have to acknowledge that as good as they are, they're not good enough. And it's hard to believe because Florida is that team. This Florida team went to the Stanley Cup Finals 3 years ago, right? 2 years ago, 2 years ago, lost. Last year, won. This year, are going to win. I mean, that's historic stuff. Tampa Bay Lightning, the last team to win it back-to-back. Before that, we were trying to name the time it happened. We went all the way back to 1990 91 season, 92 season where the Penguins won it. It's hard to do. And I don't know. Think about teams that lost championship games in different sports over and over, repeatedly. Like, did they get the label the Buffalo Bills? Right? Did they get the label the Buffalo Bills of hockey? I mean, who wants that?
Yeah, right. You're better off not even going, right? I mean, honestly. Out of all the teams, is Buffalo, before Buffalo was Minnesota, they lost 4 to the Vikings. I don't know if there's you could go Lakers against the Celtics if you want to go NBA, back into the 60s if you want to go that far, right? So, for normal time, whatever, it can be anything. For you, when I say perennial loser, which team jumps off the page more than the others?
Oh, I mean, how many championships have Minnesota teams won? Yeah, that's a really good poll question. It's really hard to be a fan of Minnesota teams. It's really hard to be a fan of Buffalo, although the Sabres actually did win it one year. The Bills keep getting close and can't get it done. I mean, growing up, for me, it was always Cleveland. Cleveland, I mean, LeBron went back and got them that win. But, the Guardians / Indians, it's been forever. And the way they lost that World Series to the Cubs was just, gut-wrenching. Game 7 at home. They have the game 1. It rains. They lose. The Browns, multiple times in the AFC Championship, right? I mean, think about a couple of those losses, Scott. Like the drive with Elway, the fumble with Biner. I mean,
they're the only team.
Ooh, that's brutal.
They're the only team, Dave, that has nicknames for their losses, right? Buffalo just lost. I mean, you got wide right. I will say that you have that. That's one, right? But Cleveland's got nicknames for all their losses. What do they call it with Sipe with the pass in the end zone that was intercepted by the Raiders? Not mistake by the lake. What do they call that one?
I didn't know that one had a name. They were the Cardiac Kids, right? I mean, because they used to come back.
Oh, they were the Cardiac Kids? Right? Yeah, that's on the positive side of things. Yeah. But Brian Sipe throwing a pass into the end zone, interception. That was that run. But you had the fumble and then the drive, and there's always something with Cleveland. Yeah, maybe it is actually Cleveland, but or Toronto. I'm sure Cam, coming up will probably tell us the Maple Leafs. And the crazy thing is, to put the little knife in a little bit deeper for Maple Leaf fans, they had this team, Dave. They had them down 2-0 and winning Game 3. Up 2 goals in Game 3. They had this Florida Panthers team dead to rights, and they let them off the hook.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, they are.
That they were up 2-0 in Game 3. Yeah, forgot about that.
So,
I'm getting texts now from my Cleveland buddies. The Shrew, he's watching the show right now, saying, "Did you have to bring this up here? I was just enjoying my Tuesday night. I don't need the nicknames. I remember them all. This is one of those ones where you open up some old wounds. So I don't want to do that right now. 2-0 Florida, 8.5 minutes to go in the game, or in the second period. 18 shots to 15 shots. What's the power play situation? Has there been a power play yet?
Let's see. Team stats.
There's not been a penalty called, sir. Not one penalty called. So, Edmonton better go.
Does this get ugly? 4-0, 3 minutes left to go, third period. Do they just go their separate ways, or do you think this gets real ugly, like we saw in Game 3? I guess that was 3 or 4, whatever it was.
I don't think it gets ugly at all. I think Edmonton just keeps trying to score, and I think Edmonton just keeps trying to keep the clock moving at one point. Once you're done, last thing you want to do is extend anything, right?
Yeah.
I don't think it gets ugly. I really don't, unless there's a move made, somebody taps somebody on a bench and says, "Yeah, go get that guy." But I don't think Edmonton's that type of team. I really don't. Boy, Skinner's doing everything he can. They can't blame Skinner for this one, Scott.
Yeah.
Nope.
I will say this, without having obviously a dog in the fight too. Gambling-wise, yes, but rooting interest-wise, aside from that, it is a lot cooler to see a Stanley Cup championship celebration on the home team's ice versus on the road.
Oh,
when
yeah.
fans are just leaving. You watch, with Florida, that'll be a lot of fun. You get to really. That's the one thing hockey has. Football's pretty good after the Super Bowl, but there's 5 zillion people on the field, and it's hard to get a sense. There's more and more on the ice now, I will say that, but it blows away the NBA. That in baseball, they hop around, big stinking deal. Hockey is actually kind of cool, having them skate around a little bit, take the pictures and the hugging, and I do enjoy that. And it's just more entertaining when it's on the home ice versus on the road when there's no.
Have you ever seen that in person?
No.
Neither
World
have I.
Series, yes, but not Stanley Cup.
Same. Yeah, I saw.
And
the
I'm
World
hoping
Series.
they boo Bettman. I'm sure they will, but anyway. Yeah, I've not seen that.
Yeah,
I've seen series clinching wins, but not Stanley Cup.
Same. I saw a lot of a couple Eastern Conference wins in Pittsburgh, but they always won the Cup on the road. So never saw it in person.
Who's not too happy right now?
Who?
Yeah, who's not too happy right now? Joe Madden, my colleague on weekends.
Oh, that's right.
She had the option.
7.
Yeah, she had the option of going to a game 5 or holding out and hoping there's a game 7. And she rolled the dice.
No.
It's not over. It's only 2-0, but you don't get a chance to go to Stanley Cup final games too often, right? So, but she rolled the dice and said, "Give me the game 7 tickets." Cam Stewart coming up next.
On June 25th at 7:30 p.m., ditch the guesswork. Ben Stevens, Kevin Walsh, James Young, and Tom Vecchio have your NBA draft betting coverage pick by pick, bet by bet, all night long. We got all the insights and expert analysis because betting blind isn't a strategy. Coverage starts at 7:30 p.m. on June 25th, only on SportsGrid.
Have awoken. Maybe they are the best team out in the West because a rooting interest for me, Tom, always the Mariners. Hey, they're finally getting to hitting back, but now that's starting to slide.
We can make a case for the Rangers. They showed some things. A team that the Rangers, you and I were both very high on coming into the season. They make a shot for the wild card. But I do think it's going to be a two-team race between the Astros and the Mariners, and that's really about it.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Does a guy like Giannis fit onto that roster if you can make some of those changes?
I just don't see a KD pursuit as being realistic for the Knicks. But hey, if they can pull a rabbit out of a hat, as Leon Rose oftentimes can, I'd go after Giannis in a heartbeat. It's just, what type of package could they entice for the Milwaukee Bucks? And is it a 3 or 4 team trade? It gets a little bit tricky in that regard.
You see the Knicks there with a plus 340 price.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Dave checking out a little hockey, little baseball. Hockey still 2-0. It's clinging to that 2-0 lead, and time winding down second period with 4.5 minutes left. 18-1 plus 8-1 on Edmonton on the other side, and the over-under has dropped finally to 4.5. The over is a plus 150 or a minus 154. So they still think you're going to get 3 more goals. So with that, let's bring in our good buddy, Mr. Cam Stewart, who takes over at the top of the hour along with Gabe Morency. What's going on, Cam? I imagine you're on Edmonton tonight, down 2-0. What do you think?
I'm pretty good in the interrogation room. You already know the crime.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just sitting there going, do I need a lawyer? No, this guy already knows everything I've done. Lie detectors, you got me. Like, no, I'm on the Oilers. I'm going down with the ship. It's just very frustrating. Sergei Bobrovsky's so good. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he makes saves, and he's made a couple of huge ones. And I listened to you guys before. I agree. Stu Skinner, it's kind of unlucky, that last goal, a little bit out of position, the 2-0 goal, and those are backbreakers. When you play hockey and you score goals in the first minute of the game and the last minute of the period, like, those are killers, man. You go to the dressing room, you just want to kill people. Like, it's so infuriating when a team scores, like, in the last minute of a period. Like, you just rage. And, hey, Edmonton's come back from a 3-goal deficit. I don't kind of have the same vibe with this game tonight, but going down with the ship, and you guys talked about it, like, next to going to the Masters, I was on the ice for 3 Stanley Cups. I told Wetzel, Dave, and it was probably, like, one of the most exhilarating experiences ever. Like, it was really, really cool. And, yeah, I got to know the Blackhawks pretty well. I saw the Bruins beat Vancouver in Vancouver before they burned the city down. I was covering it there, and I've been on the ice with the Blackhawks when they won twice. So got to know Jonathan Taves and that team really, really well. So it's pretty cool being on the ice at the end, and they'll, like, tell you stories and stuff like that, stuff you won't hear when you're interviewing during the Stanley Cup Finals. You actually get the real story, and you get to know about people. But, I'm on the good ship Oiler here, and I was telling Scott, it just infuriates me thinking how close the Leafs are every time I watch Florida, like, beat another team, because they're the one team that actually beat that. You know what I'm saying, Dave? It's just like every time I'm thinking, what could have been? But that's life. The Florida Panthers, to me, are the best counter-punchers I've ever seen in hockey. I've never seen a team like a goaltender make a big save, they score. They rob you, they come back, they find a way. You score goals, they get 2. They're just a very mentally strong, battle-tested team, and kudos, a lot like Maurice. I remember I used to cover the Leafs in Toronto, and they got rid of Maurice. They took him out of town for God knows what reason, because guys are idiots. Guy was a wicked coach, and I watch him and the success he's had in Florida, and kudos to the Panthers. It's not over yet, but McDavid, Draisaitl, somebody's got to do something. Like, Skinner's actually been one of their best players, not the goalie, and the other Skinner. Jeff Skinner's had a great game tonight, too. Yeah. Somebody else in Edmonton has to step up, other than guys that are sometimes healthy scratches.
It's unbelievable. All right, let's change the subject. We won't talk hockey.
It's okay, Dave. I deal with this stuff all the time. It's just it's therapy. You guys, I don't have to pay you either. SportsGrid pays me for my problems when I go to the chair every night, right? But anyway, baseball right now. I'm going to take a shot with the hometown team. Yeah, I like the Diamondbacks. They'll be bullpen, Dave. Giants, I like the Giants tonight. Live, I'm going to take a shot with the Jays, plus 190 now, bottom of the 8th inning. There's no outs. I don't trust Arizona's bullpen. I think it's a nice price for a sprinkle. Yes, I do like the Giants tonight, Dave. You've read my mail. I also like the Mariners. I just don't like the price. And I don't know what's going on, Dave. I know you're a college baseball guy, but just following this, Gabe and I talked about it, the 19 strikeout performance. Arkansas Razorbacks, how's their pitching staff doing? These guys don't give up. Like, it's fantastic. These guys are up 3-0 on the UCLA Bruins tonight. So maybe this team will go deep. But, other games, I like the Giants, Mariners, and not too sure about this Dodgers game. We hit the over last night. I don't really have an opinion of it. Do we go back to, what do you guys think? Back to the overs? With Dreyer and Vasquez? That's a 10. Ugh, that's a lot of runs.
That's a big number, though. 10's a big number, right?
Yeah, it sure is. Give me Sears. You know what? I'm going back to the well with a team that really made me happy last night. The Athletics. Let's go to Sears. Sorry, they're in receivership. Sears Roebuck. Give me Sears and the A's tonight. Let's roll. That was a nice win, too. Dave, walk off. They covered it with a dinger, too. I love that -1.5. Thank you, Athletics. They actually did me a solid. So I'm going back to Oakland. I don't care what Smart Moves projection says. I'm an Athletics guy tonight. Let's go. And they helped me last night. So I'm back to the well with the Athletics. Oh, man.
Playing any Rafi Devers props? You going to play a hunch with Rafi Devers home run?
Not yet, no? Scott. I'm not. I told you last night I told you that Ohtani stuff. You're talking 3 innings. Me and Dave looked at you had 2 heads last night. Don't worry about it. That's on him. Hey, Dave. Hey, look at me. Look at the Florida just scored again. There goes my plus 2.5. And we're done. We hardly knew you, Edmonton. boy. What it must be like.
Tell me it's
in
Marshawn.
in Sunrise, Florida, just watching your hockey team win championships as I sit here every year and get disappointed. And Dave, waiting for the Penguins to be relevant again. Wetzel, I don't even know who your hockey team is. It's got to be probably the Boston Bruins. Because you like
Yeah, Bruins.
That is Mike. Again. God, this guy in Boston. You love every Boston team. Like I love every Toronto team, and you're successful because Boston teams win a lot more. But anyway, I digress. Could they come back from 3 guys? You need a bloody miracle tonight. Party's probably over.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, they did in game
So
3,
I hit
right?
plus 3.5.
Whatever it was for.
I really just don't want to. I just don't want to donate. Like I know, like I'm not even an Oiler fan, to be honest with you. I'm just trying to cheering. I feel bad for their younger fan base. Like their older fans, like me, saw great runs. Remember the years versus the Islanders, and then they won again without Gretzky.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't feel sorry for Oiler fans. They've seen cups, but the younger generation, they haven't seen much. But we'll see. This Florida Panther team is unreal. I wonder how many guys are going to stick around, or if this thing's going to be broken up eventually.
This game's not going
That'd
over,
be
is it, Kim? This can't be going over.
I got to be honest with you, Dave. Like I like
one
if
goal.
Edmonton comes back, it's going over. But it's 5.5 now, so it's kind of telling you that the Florida Panthers might win this game 5-0. Right, and just stay under the number.
Takes one Edmonton goal. One Edmonton goal.
You need one Edmonton goal, and then they have come back in the third before, and the games have all gone over. But I don't know, man. Is this team's will broken? Hockey players are mentally tough, but I don't know if Edmonton can do this again. And guys, I got to be honest with you. They will live to regret. I don't know how many times these guys, every game they're down in the first period. You can't do that stuff. You gotta show up early and do something different instead of going down to these guys expecting to come back.
Cam and Gabe, top of the hour. Thanks, Cam.
On June 25th at 7:30 p.m., ditch the guesswork. Ben Stevens, Kevin Walsh, James Young, and Tom Vecchio have your NBA draft betting coverage pick by pick, bet by bet, all night long. We got all the insights and expert analysis because betting blind isn't a strategy. Coverage starts at 7:30 p.m. on June 25th, only on SportsGrid.
Have awoken. Maybe they are the best team out in the West because a rooting interest for me, Tom, always the Mariners. Hey, they're finally getting the heading back, but now that's starting to slide.
We can make the case for the Rangers. They shore up some things. A team that the Rangers, you and I were both very high on coming into the season. They make a shot for the wild card. But I do think it's going to be a two-team race between the Astros and the Mariners, and that's really about it.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Does a guy like Giannis fit onto that roster if you can make some of those changes?
I just don't see a KD pursuit as being realistic for the Knicks. But hey, if they can pull a rabbit out of a hat, as Leon Rose oftentimes can, I'd go after Giannis in a heartbeat. It's just, what type of package could they entice for the Milwaukee Bucks? And is it a 3 or 4 team trade? It gets a little bit tricky in that regard.
You see the Knicks there with a plus 340 price.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Red Right 88. That was the play, the mistake by the lake, as they called it. Brian Sipe getting picked off. Browns at the Raiders, 15-yard line, needing only a field goal, final minute of the game to win the game. And don't ask why. Wasn't Marty Schottenheimer that year? Throws a pass into the end zone. Mike Davis intercepts it, and the Raiders win 14-12. That was I forgot the name of it. Red Right 88. Yeah, every Cleveland loss has a nickname to it. So anyway, thanks to Cam Stewart for joining us. Cam and Gabe, top of the hour here on the grid. So 3-0, Dave. Sam Reinhart scores again, unassisted. Final seconds of the second period. I mean, is it over? I mean, did they come back 3-0 down? First period in Game 4. So it's not like they haven't done this before. A game they ended up winning, but for all intents and purposes, is this it? No sense watching?
Our show's over in 5 minutes. This game is over now. Okay? There's almost 20 seconds left here. There was an icing. Okay, so there's 15 seconds left before they drop the puck for the icing. It's 3-0 Florida. Yes. I wouldn't even take the maybe take the 3.5, but 4-1. 5-0.
I wouldn't even do that.
I don't want the 3.5.
I'd minus 3. I would go minus 3. You know why? Because you have 15 minutes of hockey left before Edmonton pulls the goalie. Now certainly they could score with the goalie pulled, right? But down 3 goals at least. They're going to have 15 minutes. Can Florida hold off for 15 minutes? And then you got 5 minutes of an empty netter, and you're getting plus 104 on FanDuel anyway. I'd be more inclined to do that than I would take the 3.5 minus 135. But you do need 1 goal, right? 1 Edmonton goal will put your over 6.5 back in play, because then it's 3-1, and then the empty netters come, and they'll be down 3 goals, and still, if they score, they'll still pull the empty netter. You just want to avoid the 5-1. But if you get 1 Edmonton goal, you're back in play with the over 6.5.
It's official. It's 3-0. They're walking into the locker rooms. I'll ask you these 2 questions. Does Edmonton score? Yes or no? And does the shots on goal prop on Bobrovsky hit? Yes or no?
What's the odd now?
20.
Definitely hits. Do they score? Yeah. So, this is too easy. It can't be this easy. It just, if they go down without a fight, especially if the Bobrovsky prop doesn't hit, and they don't even get 27 shots on goal or 28, I'm going to give Edmonton a little bit more credit. I'm going to say they score, they put a scare into this thing. What about you?
Okay. I think they score, but I think they only score 1. And I think it lands right on the number as far as the shots on goal. I think they end up with 28. Goal. Yeah.
28.
Yeah.
Okay.
Florida will really tighten it up. I mean, I hope I'm wrong. I want to see a good third period. I mean, that's what I'm going to watch. I'm going to watch that and the Padres and the Dodgers, along with the little Red Sox and Mariners. So, I don't know.
What's higher?
Season, Scott.
Edmonton Oilers goals tonight or Rafael Devers home runs?
Wow. Good prop. Should put that up right now.
Or hits.
Like action on that.
Could go hits. Yeah. You probably would. They should do that. These sites don't do that. I don't know why. I can't tell you how many people say they love that stuff with the Super Bowl. Love it. And you don't get that stuff for some reason in a regular season.
The cross-sport props are very, 1, they're tough to price. 2, the window of doing something like that, we'd be able to take bets on it for 10 minutes? Like we could have done it before the game and had bets on it and market open. Yeah. But they're very hard to price. Not a lot of books want to take the risk and or exposure because it's easy to compare a price on a game. If you have Florida minus 140, someone else has minus 150, someone else has minus 152, you know what the price should be. Nobody knows what the price should be on the Devers versus Edmonton Oilers goals prop.
Yeah, trying to figure that out, right? So, all right.
Yeah.
We'll be back tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Eastern time, as we always hear on the grid. No baskets and no hockey tomorrow, so just wall-to-wall baseball. Maybe a little WNBA. We can throw that in there. But back to the baseball. Back to the diamonds we go with some strikeout props and some other goofy things. So, Dave, great job as always. We got Cam and Gabe, top of the hour. Don't go anywhere, right here on the grid.